Actually, on the bus right there, we have something called.
All right, Cooper.
Yes.
So we're gonna do some math, all right? All right. So let's say, Johnny had 3 apples, right?
It's always Johnny.
And Sally came over and gave him 3 more apples. So how many apples does Johnny have?
Okay, well, we got to think of it. Are we thinking this in quantum or relativity? Well, actually, let's think of it in quadratic. So we think it quadratically. We have 3 plus 3 here, right? 3 plus 3. So to get that, sing it with me. X is equal to negative b plus 1 minus the square root of b squared. That's a terrible b. B squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, so now that we have that, we gotta plug these numbers in. But if you look at that, why are there only 2 numbers? We need 3, we need a c. So let's get rid of that. And let's just imagine that Sally had an extra apple. So Sally had 1 more apple. So we have 3a, 3b, and 1c. So we plug that all in, it becomes x is equal to minus, x is equal to minus 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4, 3, 1. Oh, all over what? Correct. 2, 3. And when we look at this, I know what you're thinking. You're probably lost because your intellect is not to my level quite yet, but that's okay. So when we look at this,
I'm the teacher.
What do we? So when we think of PEMDAS, that means start with square root. So we take that 3 squared and we make it 9 minus 4, 3, 1. What does that equal?
The way you lost me
Correct.
in this process.
12 minus 9 squared. Plus or minus negative 3 all over 6. Because why?
Is that a 3?
Yes. We'll change that. Minus 3. So, and how do we get 6? Correct. What is 2 times 3?
Syphilis.
I'm thinking more gonorrhea, not syphilis.
Okay.
But yes, it equals 6. So when we get to that, you gotta, I don't know why this is up here. It's my bad. Then after that, we wanna take this and combine it. So then we get minus 3 plus or minus the square root of minus 3 over 6. But minus 3 isn't possible. You cannot square root a negative. So how do we take care of that? Do we square it and get rid of the square root? Absolutely not.
Oh.
We minus 3 plus or minus 3i, an imaginary number, all over 6. Now when you think about it though, that I means imaginary, which means that number isn't real. Correct? So we can just get rid of that, right? So that leaves us with minus 3 over 6. And what does that also equal? Minus 1/2. So when we think about it, what does that also equal? 0.5. Now what does 0.5 have to do in this equation? I don't fucking know. But that's what we're supposed to figure out.
As a pizza.
As a pizza.
What was the question? What was the question?
Johnny had 3 apples,
I get it.
and Johnny got 3 more apples from
Sally.
what was her name?
Sally.
Sally.
From Sally.
Little Sally.
So the pizza.
Yes.
All right. Perfect.
So that's 0.5 of a pizza. And when we think about it, this doesn't even matter. I don't even know. Okay. So you gotta so we gotta square these. We gotta square these, right?
Yeah.
So what does that equal?
I don't know. Tell me.
equals 9. 9 plus 9. And also these don't matter anymore, so we can just get rid of those.
Oh, okay.
So this equals 18. But now we bring this back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So times 0.5 is
Yes.
9. Now, when we take this, now think of this. Okay, so Sally just randomly gave an apple. So technically that apple wasn't real. So technically this is one, oh, we don't need this anymore. Technically that's one eye.
If the apple is poisoned, does that count as an apple?
I think so. Now when we look at this though, one eye, what does eye mean?
Imaginary.
Imaginary.
Uh-huh.
And what does that
Instinct.
also mean?
Instinct.
Yes. That also means it isn't real. It
Yeah.
isn't real. So we can just get rid of that.
Oh, okay.
Because that number is not real.
Yeah,
It's a
so
fake
we're left
number.
with 9?
We aren't engineers, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So we don't use that number. So
Yeah.
we are left with shoot, I don't even know.
There's a pizza. Don't forget.
Yes. All right, so we are left with 9. But what's the square root of 9?
I don't
What if,
know.
what if we think about that? Square root of 9
3.
brings us back to 3. It brings us back. But there's two 3s. Yes,
Would it be helpful if you drew a diagram?
of course. So let's think of it this way. So here we have, and if
Is that a
all right,
pizza?
No. So let's think of it. Let's get this. 300 times 8 m/s over the variable, which
Where did the N and the S
we'll
come from?
say the variable is m. No, we'll say the variable is a for apples, and that equals v, velocity. So this is the speed of light right here.
I get that.
Speed of light.
Yeah, I get where you're going.
But you can't prove that. It's physically impossible. Thank you.
No, this equals like 300,000.
30,000?
300,000 miles per second, because the speed of light is really, really fast. Technically, it's more like 2 point. Oh, that's not right. I don't know. Just okay. But anyways, so we start here. This is where the apple starts, and we shoot that apple all the way up. But it has to hit its peak. So actually, we don't know where that peak is quite yet. So what do? Dotted lines. You learn this in calculus. Dotted lines. So those dotted lines match up with your point. That is your peak right there. That is where the apple is going to land.
What? But how do we get the apple? How do apple on? I'm thinking, how do we get the apple onto the pizza?
Well, yeah, you're right. So in that case, we have to take the theory of relativity. And I mean, the theory of singularity would help out really well, but we don't know what a singularity is, right? Or at least we can't.
Who's sweet?
That's not really good. But we can't really yeah. So we take that. Let's just put in random numbers in, because why not? So 10 equals
What does
12.
any of this have to do with 3 plus 3?
12, 3,
This is a bigger picture, Malik.
What's 12 divided by
Brackets.
4?
3.
Oh my god.
exactly. And we
We're back
square
where
all
we
that.
started.
What does this bring us back to?
4 is equal
many apples?
to 10. But that 4 has a square on it. How do we get rid of it? We square
Square
it.
root.
10 is equal to 16. Is it really though? No, because that means nothing. Alright? So we come back to this. Rocket equation. So rocket equation. But that brings it back to this. And what does this equal?
Apple.
This equals 6.
Alright.